Hello, it's Polish PSVR, welcome to the channel, and it's time to do review of Crysis Vrigade 2. The game is coming out tomorrow at the price of $19.99. Continuation of the very well received first game, but is this one good or does it suck balls? I'm gonna tell you all about it, so let's just jump into it. As in first one, the game supports move controllers and aim controller. With move controllers, it kind of plays like PC version. Of course, the tracking is a bit worse than on PC because sometimes the moves can obstruct each other, but nothing too bad, plays very good with moves, and also you've got dual weapons sometimes when you grab the power up. The best way to play it for me was, of course, with the aim controller, because I think this is the best VR controller ever, and it played amazingly. Now, how you play the game, basically you are in the main menu, you're starting from the first level, there's 3 different ones. Once you complete one, then the other unlocks. So to unlock all the levels, of course, you have to complete previous ones. Now, to complete them is not so easy, because just like the first one, the game is quite challenging, but this time around, if you die, it's actually meaningful, because you're always earning some money, and with this money you can buy extra lives, continues, new weapon skins, start the game with better weapon, buy laser sights, all of that stuff. So even though you keep dying, it's gonna be coming handy later on to, when you earn some money. Reminds me a lot of how you play Beat Saber on Expert Plus. You might keep failing and failing, but still you want to keep playing and playing. And that's how Crysis Vrigade 2 plays. Now, when it comes to the tracking, I want to talk about it as well for a bit, because you have to make sure your camera is set perfectly, so your gun won't start drifting off, because in this game there is a lot of ducking, but also a lot of blind firing from above your head. For me, the best way to set up a camera was kind of a bit higher up, pointing down, making sure it's got me while I duck covered, but also it's got me covered while I'm aiming blindly. At one point I started the game with the same setup I had for Iron Man VR, and it didn't work at all, so make sure your camera is set up perfectly. And while it is, then the game plays awesomely as well. Now, also I want to talk a bit about the presentation, because you probably noticed the game looks a lot of different than the first one. I completed the game on PC as well, played through it all, and I must say PSVR port is pretty much one-to-one conversion. If there is any differences, they must be so small that I couldn't see any, through the memory from what I played on PC. Looks very nice, also looks quite sharpish, and I must say I played on PS4 Pro though, but looks very nicely presented game. The enemy models looks better, the depth animations are better, the environments are still destructible, so it would be nice to have some sort of grenades or something just to cause a bit of carnage. I mean, the game at one point lets you use a nice rocket launcher and a minigun, but that's just at the designed parts of the game. Apart from that, you've got your main weapon, what you're gonna start the game from, but of course, as you progress in, just like the first one, you're picking up power-ups, and they can be new weapons, slowing down time, shields or armors, and also extra lives. So, the game, to complete the game, it took me about 3 hours, but there is more content coming this summer already, the developers announced, because we're gonna get co-op. The co-op is not out on PC, it's not out on PSVR yet, but if you look at the menu, it says it's coming this summer. And the first game had very nice post-launch support from the developers. They added a new level, so I'm hoping to see the same, and it seems like the things heading into the right direction, because they already announced some updates, and those usually are free. When it comes to music, it's okay. When it comes to voice acting, it's pretty cool. You can switch it off, but you can keep it on, so you can hear through the radio. It comes handy sometimes, because the enemies shooting at you from all over the place. Sometimes you might miss somebody, and your mate through the radio gonna tell you, yes, there is one more left. Once you start the game, you've got some buddies with you, but of course they get shot down eventually, and you usually ending up completing the levels by yourself. But anyway, speaking about the levels and the gameplay itself, I touched about the graphics. The levels work like the first game, so you go from cover to cover. There is no locomotion whatsoever. Only thing what you can allow to move is within your play area. Like I said, a lot of physicality to it. I'm assuming your quads and your bottoms will be very nicely exercised after this game, because you're squatting a lot. Now, also, I must say, it would be nice to have some sort of smooth locomotion, kind of like Blood and Truth, or choice which cover to take, but as of now, you sadly cannot do it. You can choose multiple paths, what's eventually gonna lead you to same place, but not that often anyway. But to summarize, all in all, I really enjoying Crisis Brigade 2. It's a game I like to play over and over again. It's so addictive, the gameplay loop is super fun. Also, it's very difficult, very challenging. At the beginning, you'll be thinking, whoa, 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 what do I do now? Oh, everybody is shooting at me, there's like 20 people out there. Can I just pop my head out? And then you're gonna be getting shot, but eventually you're gonna get used to it. It's all about the memorization when the enemies getting respawned. So to end the video, I'm gonna give Crisis Brigade 2 8 out of 10. It's a very, very solid release. It's a very, very good shooter that very nicely utilizes the aim controller. And if you own aim, then this game, it's a must. It's gonna make you sweat, it's gonna make you move, you're gonna feel like you've done a proper big exercise. Even though it's a shooter, it's a cover shooter, you'll be surprised how much you have to move in this game. So I definitely can recommend this game. It's very fun, very challenging, just like the first one. If you found first one bit too hard, at least this time around you can buy continues and you can buy some extra life and some extra help. The levels seems to be longer, the boss fights are great, the game chucks few surprises at you. So definitely a very nice PlayStation VR release that many people probably will enjoy. Okay, if you like what you're seeing, then please press a like because it does help the channel a lot. And if you're new to the channel and are not subscribed, then subscribe. It's always better when it's more of us. And that's it, bye.